Are you ready to turn your iPhone or iPad into a professional, powerful live streaming studio? Whether you're covering sports, school events, business presentations, or content creation, Switcher Studio makes it possible, all without expensive gear. Today, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know to get started, from setting up your devices to running a seamless, high-quality live broadcast. By the end of it, you'll be confident in using Switcher Studio like a pro. So let's dive in. In case you don't know me, my name is David Basulto. I'm an award-winning high school media teacher. I'm also the owner of iographer.com. And I've been using Switcher Studio for years. We live stream all of our events for the school, football, basketball, all the sports, graduation, plays, you name it, and it works seamlessly. My students love it. They feel like they're ESPN broadcasters. So before we dive into it, if you like what you see so far, please hit that subscribe button and follow along for more videos along the way. Let's dive in. Now, Switcher Studio is an app that allows you to connect to multiple iPhones or iPads. Think of it as a mini TV studio in your pocket. It's perfect for teachers, businesses, churches, content creators, and sports broadcasters. Instead of using some complicated setup with expensive cameras, you can switch between multiple mobile devices, add overlays, graphics, and even bring in remote guests in real time. All right, before we jump into using Switcher Studio, let's make sure you have everything you need. 1, compatible devices. Switcher Studio only works on iPhones or iPads, iOS 15 or later. Strong, reliable Wi-Fi connection. All the devices must be on the same network so they can connect. Switcher Studio app is needed, so download that from the App Store. And an active Switcher Studio subscription, so get a 14-day free trial with my affiliate link, which is below. Now, once you've downloaded the app, let's log in and start setting up the cameras. So I'm in the login screen here. As you can see underneath it, it says share camera or screen. Now, quick point, you're going to want this app on all the devices that you're going to use in your workflow. For me, I have this app on every iOS device I have in my arsenal, from old iPhones, old iPads. You never know when I want different angles, and they work great with older devices. So I'm going to log in, or you would sign up. I'm going to log in though. And right here, I've got everything saved. I'm going to save it. It's look up. I covered that. There we go. I'm logging in. And first thing you'll see is that there's my local recordings. Now I have another iPad at school that I use for school events, which is just packed with stuff and actually gets saved to the cloud, which we'll talk about later. On the left here, you'll see that I'm in my video library right now, but I can click on menu. Here it shows my plan, whether or not you have a brand kit. So this particular iPad is for my iOgrapher brand. So I've got my logo here, my brand colors, all my social stuff here, and have everything set up. You would do this for your school or your clients, etc. You have everything ready to go. Now underneath that, it's manage, share camera or screen. I'm not going to share my camera or my screen on this, but I am going to show you how you can share another computer screen later on. Now I can go in here and change the app settings if I want. I don't need to do that right now. Here's some other video tutorials that you may want to check out, even though you're going to get the best from me because I use this every single day. Help Center. So here's another way that you can get help from Switcher Studio. There's diagnostic data, and you can, of course, log out. So on the left here on the bottom, we've got Go Live, Record Video. So you may want to set this up just to record a video, a multi-camera shoot. Maybe you're making a really cool little commercial or movie or something. You just want multi-cam and you want to edit right away and you're ready to go. I will say though, it's only going to record in 1080p. So if you're looking for 4K and above, you might want to check out my other video about using Final Cut Pro for iPad to do multi-camera shooting. Okay, underneath that, it says schedule event. So I can click on that and go out to several places. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then I can, of course, upload a video. So maybe I've got some B-roll or something that I want to show or anything. I can upload it right here and start to show it later in my broadcast. So for this purposes, we're going to go live. So I'm hitting go live. Now I've got the option to go into horizontal or vertical views. I'm going to choose horizontal because hypothetically we're going to YouTube and we're going to start spinning. Now, one of the best things about Switcher Studio is its ability to use multiple iPhones or iPads as camera sources. So here's how you set them up. I'm going to go down below here next to the select button, and I can see that I've got a little camera icon there. Now, you might be seeing this camera view. It's of my desk, which is a little bit messy. I apologize. And this is the camera from the Switcher iPad that I'm using. If you had it angled correctly on something that you wanted to bring in, you could definitely do that. So now let's go into this area here where I see the little camera. You'll see I've got built-in camera. I can click that once and now it's turned off. So we'll leave that off for now because I'm not going to use it. And the next one I see David's iPhone. That's me. So I'm going to select it. Now on the iPhone with the Switcher Studio app selected, I see that it's asking me, can Switcher Studio take over using my iPad Pro, the name of my device. I'm going to allow it. You can also just tick allow automatically so that you don't have to do this every time. So I'm allowing it and starting to connect, and it's showing the back camera. So we're going to switch this over. There we go. Okay, so I've got camera 1 there. Now I want to add a separate camera that's on the left here. But if you look down below here, underneath all of these, I don't see another camera. I see my MacBook. I see my iPhone 15, which I'm not using right now. But I have an option that says add source. So once in a while, your Switcher app might not connect to your phone. It might be someone else's phone that you're using or someone else's device for this live stream. So you've got to add source. So I'm going to click on add source. Let's go over these options. Number 1 is camera. So that's going to add a Switcher camera that we've got set up with the app that's already maybe been used before. It's similar to the other screen we just watched. You can also connect to Switcher HDMI cameras, so DSLRs, broadcast cameras, and you need to use something called the Asun Simo. And I'll put a link to that below. You can check that out. A mobile screen if I want, a desktop screen, we'll talk about that in a moment, or I want to connect by URL. So once I added the source using the URL, I've now got another angle. I will switch to that really quickly, and there you can see I've got angle 2. So back and forth, I'm pressing the 1 and 2 buttons on my keyboard. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so I've got 2 cameras ready to go. I can have up to 9 devices on this network. So it's really, imagine all the different things that you can do. When we do live football at my school, we'll have 2 cameras up top on the press box, one with a wide view and one with a close-up view. And then we'll have 2 cameras on the sidelines splitting the 50-yard line that we can go down when there's timeouts or maybe there's a really good play near the goal line, and we can do some fun stuff like that. So you can really set it up as pro as you want. So it's pretty cool. So a quick pro tip for this would be to mount your devices on tripods for stability and use different angles for dynamic shot. Now that the cameras are connected, let's explore the main interface, which is your control center. On the left right here, you'll see that I've got the preview monitor, and I want it to go to the live monitor so I can start streaming it out there. So next to the buttons here, you'll see it says preview and live. I'm just gonna hit that once, and there we go. I'm now in the live monitor. People are seeing that. Now I want to look down here. I can see camera 2. I'm touching it with my finger here. Now I've got camera 2 there. If I want to press that one out, I hit it once. It switched places, and now I've got camera 2 there. And I can do it again, just switching back and forth with nice cuts. Also, you'll see here that I've got some overlays. So if I want to hit this one here, now you can see I've got my lower thirds animated that came on. I'll hit it one more time. It goes away. Graphics and lower thirds, etc., are going to go live to the live monitor right away. I'll hit this one here, which tells you to like and subscribe. So you can do all kinds of fun interactive stuff, add logos, text, and transitions, and just do great things with this. So how do I add graphics? Well, the little plus button down below here, if I hit that once, it'll bring up things like photos. If I want to click on that, I can add photos. I can bring in a video. I can add text and graphics. If I click that once, you'll see that it's got built-in titles, lower thirds, animated text, timers, stopwatches, platform overlays, you name it. Logos on the corner bug, I can put that in there. Image overlays, images a lower third, all kinds of stuff to play around with and make your live stream looking like a pro. Here's my logo here. I can go in there and apply my brand kit. Now you see my logo right there. I can click on the logo and move it along, just putting my finger over it, putting it wherever I want. Down here gives you different position ability. I can make the size bigger and smaller right here. I can put on the duration. Do I want it on for 1 second? Do I want it to stay on top of everything? All of that's here to play around with. Now you've got next to that is cards. So you can add cards. So I'll do this. So what that does is let me put the logo there and then maybe some text underneath that. And these are really fun to do if you're doing live shopping and things like that. Image as a background. Maybe I just want something back there as a background. Here's 2 views. So I might have 2 different camera views there. And this is all for live selling. Switcher has an amazing ability using something called Cart to work with Shopify sites so that you can sell things. But that is a whole separate video. Now, what's really powerful are multi-views. So you'll see here, I've got multi-view where I can go side by side. I can do 3 views, 4 views, 5 views, 6 views or more. So I've got tons of fun options. I'll show you some use cases in a few moments. Next to that, you'll see input once again. So here's all of our things. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to go down here till I see display on David's MacBook Air. I'm going to hit that 1 time. And then on my MacBook Air, I'm going to hit accept. And now I'm going to press done. So now you're going to see my MacBook right there on the Switcher Studio website. SwitcherCast is a free download from switcherstudio.com that you can put on your Mac or your PC to bring in that screen. So something I've seen some of my students do, and we actually do this at school, is for my esports team, I'll put this onto the computer they're using because we use PCs for esports, and I'll bring that live into a live broadcast, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to go over here to my Mac and turn off, or actually down Switcher Studio so we don't see that. So now I've got it going there, and I'll bring this into my live side here. And now I'm live out there to everybody, showing them my computer screen. So maybe I'm doing a presentation about an app I created, or this is a PowerPoint, or whatever I want on that screen, I can now bring that in there. So now let's do something even more fun. So now I'm going to hit the A and B right here 1 time and hit my front view. And now if I hit that to go live, you'll see that I popped up as a picture in picture. And now I can see myself on there talking while I'm talking through the whole thing. So maybe I'm doing a whole presentation and I want people to see me. And if I want to get rid of it, I can go to the left-hand side and hit that again, and it comes back down and we're out of there. So you'll see picture in picture is very powerful. It's super cool, especially if you wanted to add some people coming into your show. So the next item down here in the bottom, if I hit that once, that is showing me my broadcast mode. So right now we are live streaming. There's no event. I'm recording this locally because I might want to keep it later. So you just have to do this, click that once, it's going to make a copy for you. If I wanted to do a new event, I would hit that 1 time. It's going to ask me create a new event or use existing scheduled post. So I can pre-schedule these earlier, which is fantastic because that way you can tell your audience through social media or emails that, hey, I'm going to be live on this certain date. The game is going to be live at this time on Friday, etc. So if I click create event once, it's going to bring this up. And now I see that iOgrapher, we're connected to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or something called custom RTMP. Now what that is, there's certain places that you may want to stream to that only allow you to stream through custom RTMP. If you're trying to be an Amazon seller and you want to show your products, or maybe you're an Amazon reviewer, you like to have a live show. A lot of people do that to make extra money. I would click on RTMP once. As you can see right now, I've got Amazon Live switched on there, and Twitch for my own other Twitch channel. I have an RTMP set up for that as well. If you want to do YouTube, I've already added it. It's good to go. And then I would go to next, and now I would give it a name. Stream quality, I always put a name in a description. Make sure you do that. Stream quality, so I like to do 1080p, but right here you'll see that it'll run a speed test and check and see if you have a strong enough connection. If you don't, I highly recommend keeping it on 720. And then I'm done with that. And then that's it. When we're good to go, we're good to go. It's going to stop there because I have nothing set up. I don't want to get too complicated right now, so we'll leave director mode alone. But let's look at advanced settings. So now I can also record remote cameras. So all the iPads or iPhones that I have connected to Switcher can record just their angle. So they have their angle on that device. Then afterwards, if you want to bring all that in and do a multicam edit in Premiere Pro or into Final Cut Pro, you can. Okay, so I'm going to click on Wi-Fi optimization. And now you'll see I've got low latency mode, standard Wi-Fi, and reinforced Wi-Fi. I don't care how fast your connection is, and I'm on fiber right now at my home, but I'm going to click on reinforced iPad. It introduces like about a 1 second delay, but if there's any little buffers that happen, it's going to smoothly ride them out, and you're not going to lose connection. So definitely use reinforced Wi-Fi. Underneath that, there's outputs to HDMI or AirPlay, so you can connect HDMI to your device. There's several dongles that I use. Sateki.com makes a great one. And that can go out to TV monitors or projectors or whatever you want. Maybe you're at a big conference and you want to show the whole thing that's going on. You can absolutely do that. Underneath that, you've got Zoom, Meet, and Skype. Let's look at that for 1 second. If you want to use Switcher Studio in your Zoom instead of just Zoom, you can do that. You need to download Camo Studio. There's a free version and a paid version. There's the download link. And you'll then be able to connect the iPad to your Mac or PC and use it as the controller for what people are seeing on your Zoom call. So instead of just a boring Zoom call, you now can bring in another laptop. You have multi-cameras, graphics, everything. Super cool. Next one over here is your transition. So if you want to fade in and out, cross dissolve, etc. I'll just do cross dissolve for a second and we'll hit it one time. And now you see that it dissolves back and forth like that. Not particularly into that, but you can use whatever you want. I just like it cutting back and forth. Okay, so zoom controls. Do I want to be able to zoom? You'll see on my camera left here, my preview monitor, I've got myself again. If I make that the live one and I go back to this one as well, so I've got both of them on the same, I can now go to the left side here and slide up and down to zoom in and out. So you have options to do things like that. Maybe I don't like the way I'm framed and I want to zoom in just a little bit like that and be a little more close up. I can do that. Focus, I recommend leaving automatic focus. It does a great job. Exposure, automatic exposure. You can also do manual exposure. All the auto buttons on this work fantastic. White balance, another one. LED light. Do I want the LED light on the device on or off? Sometimes you might want it on to have some extra light on somebody. Stabilization, I leave that on. It just works great with all the iOS devices and their built-in stabilization. Lock autofocus when live. I haven't had a problem with that, so I don't really mess with that. And then, of course, you can save your camera settings onto that actual device. So now with audio, this is really important. Switcher Studio takes the audio from the Switcher device, not from the cameras. So if you have someone standing in front of the camera that's way out there and you think they're hearing them, they're not. It's coming from the Switcher device. So I highly recommend looking into broadcast mixers. There's some great ones that I'll link below that I use. With the Procaster from Rode, I can bring in multiple lines of audio with professional microphones to get pro audio, because nothing worse than watching something and have poor audio for it. If you're just streaming a game or something, you can plug in a simple shotgun microphone, maybe on a little tripod, just to pick up the ambient noise. It's also going to do that automatically for football games. Sometimes we'll just if we don't have announcers for some reason, we'll let that just play and hear the overhead announcers. But it's nice to build a program at your school where people can become broadcasters, wear headsets, and plug into this like ESPN announcers. So Pro Audio is something I highly recommend. I'll leave some links below of some interfaces and microphones that I highly recommend. Audio monitoring, I leave off as well because I'm going to plug into the mixer and I'm going to have headphones to make sure it sounds good. One thing where you see up here where it says built-in microphone, just make sure that you're not hitting the red. You don't want to peak out and have distorted audio. Next to that, you've got auto switch. So do I want to set that on? If I press that once, it's going to start to go back and forth every 3 seconds. There you go. There's 3 seconds. There's 3 seconds. So you can set this and just let it go and have it all set up. One person can run this whole thing. It's amazing. So I'll stop that now. So that's how that works. Next to that, so if you're on Facebook, you can click on this and load a poll. So if there's any kind of polls that you have created on Facebook, it's ready to go. Next to that, we are monitoring our live comments. So you can have all the live comments on here. You're streaming. I'm talking in the microphones here. We're calling the football game or whatever. And people are commenting on YouTube. And you're right there. Yeah, you're right, John. That was a good pass or whatever. It's really great to be interactive and people love it. This is really powerful. This is your remote guest ability. So we do this at the high school where at halftime we'll bring in a guest from that's an alumni. And all we have to do is click on join room here. So I'll click on that once and then it's going to connect to a room where I'll invite a remote guest. All I have to do is hit invite remote guests. It's going to give me a link that I can send to them. And then from that link, they can be on an iPhone or an Android and connect with us wherever they are in the boonies. So they can just come on live. It's really fun. And now you're having someone live on there. Next thing here is your scoreboard. So I will switch over to me one more time. So now I've got my scoreboard ready to go. I can now click on show scoreboard right here. As you see right there, we've got the scoreboard there. This was used last for one of my esports teams. I can just start clicking on the numbers there. You'll see the numbers moving on the scoreboard. Underneath that, there's templates. I can do the timer here. So maybe there's, 5 seconds left, 6, 5, 4, there's the timer right there. So you can add the minutes and hours or whatever you need. There's several templates here. So you've got baseball, classic, horizontal, inline. We'll just use that one for now. We'll turn it on one more time. There, I've got it nice and big. It's the first quarter, 3 seconds to go. I can reset the score right here. And now it's 0-0. I can edit the properties. So now I can go in here and change the logo, the name of the teams, the opposing logo, the name of their teams, the colors, all of that ready to go. And of course, I can turn off this at any time. Next to that is to add timestamps to recordings. I have to be live to do that. I might want to add a timestamp so I can find out later on what was at that point. And then at the very end, there's some other options here for more tools, etc. But this is pretty much all you need to get going. When I'm ready to go live and everything's set up, all I have to do is hit the red button on the top right corner. Once I hit that, I'll see the live record button going and I'll see the time moving and I know that I'm recording now. When I'm done, I just press that one more time. It'll end the broadcast and it'll start uploading it so that you have a copy of it and you'll see it on the server, of course, on YouTube or wherever you shot to. One other thing I want to show is if I click on the plus button, I go into Switcher Cloud. So this is something I can access from the Switcher Studio website on any Mac or PC. And now I can upload different assets up there. You'll see I have a main one here. If I click on that, there's all kinds of different things in there for iOgrapher. This is my backup this is Huntington Middle School and San Marino High School in case we're streaming 2 events at one day and I need to have my stuff here. This is all my own logos and stuff. So all of that can be stored up in the Switcher Cloud. Okay, to finish up, let's talk about some common issues and fixes you may have. One thing that I highly recommend before you start shooting is to turn on your iPad, close every app you have that's open, just close them all, and then restart the iPad so that it's like a fresh brain ready to go. Do it on all the devices you're going to use as well. If you have laggy video, check your Wi-Fi strength, or if you lower the resolution a little bit, that'll help a lot too. The big thing I recommend is checking your place that you're going to stream at first and make sure that you have good internet there. Whether you're bringing your own hotspot or you're using the Wi-Fi or whatever from the place, just make sure that it's a great internet connection. And that's a wrap. Now you know how to use Switcher Studio to produce high quality, professional live streams using just your iPhone or iPad. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more mobile video content. And drop any questions in the comments. I'd love to help. Plus, if you want to dive deeper, check out my live trainings on Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. where I cover advanced techniques in everything I do. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.